I'm pissed because I can't.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Up North Live. My name is Jeff. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Isaac 556x45. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. Happy to be here as always, and happy to learn about some Atlantis and some other stuff we got to talk about. So happy to be here. But how you guys doing?
Doing wonderful. Andrew, how about you? How are you doing?
Oh, busy. 'Tis the season.
We
had warm weather for once, and everyone needs work done. So
yep,
working.
Yeah, no, that warm weather really kind of ruined my afternoon.
And by warm weather,
it was nice.
Obviously,
where's everybody at?
Plus,
yeah.
We had a heat wave of 38 today, so got a little wet out.
Where are you located?
We'll get into that. Go ahead.
Where are you located? Everybody. Where's everybody located?
I'm in New England, and these boys are a couple of Yoopers, I believe.
Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Live in the same town.
I gotta open up the maps. Oh my gosh. You guys are in the snow. You said it got too hot. What are you talking about?
43?
24 right now. So it's a heat wave.
Yeah.
24 degrees, meaning still below freezing, is a heat wave.
Yes.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, we were at, I think, 35 to 45 below in some areas.
You guys are talking in code. Well, I am in the desert. Hey guys, I'm Stig. Call me Stig.
Welcome, Stig.
I'm in the desert, and so I'm cold right now, but it's actually probably 70 degrees, 65 degrees outside.
It's summer.
It got a little. It might rain like any day now, but summertime it's 120 degrees Fahrenheit, so a little different. And I live here during that time in this undisclosed location in Southern California, in the desert.
Wow. Never experienced that temperature before. Man, wow.
Oh, I used to do it without air conditioning. I lived in
my goodness,
off the grid, and I just took showers 4 times to 5 times a day. It was part of your day. You took several showers. If you're working,
you have to.
There's different ways to manage it. So I'm wondering, now your name just changed. Oh no, that's a chat. Isaac, what's that black flag? Is that the Tree of Life?
That's Lord of the Rings. Gondor. Yep. Big so we do the politics and we do the pop culture. So
pop culture. I love it. I want to get into stand-up comedy and get away from all this ancient history bullshit. But I'm not gonna try any of my jokes on your live stream tonight. But I do know about you guys. You know Kill Tony? You know Kill Tony?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. It was just on, and by the way, that's right next to Joe Rogan. Hey.
There's a start. There's a lot of people who got starts there.
Yep.
Well, I know a lot of people who have been on Joe Rogan now. Dandy Dunker, you've met him. Sorry, who else do I know? Of course,
Michael
Jimmy
Button was on there.
Michael Button. I met him in was that Scottsdale?
Yeah.
Cosmic. I went to Cosmic Summit too, so I get them confused.
Okay, I haven't been able to make it to Cosmic Summit yet. Maybe someday.
We'll talk about it off the air. Yeah. I don't think I'll be going back because it's kind of far, and there's a couple of reasons. But like I said, I like to talk about all the positives in this environment. I don't like to spread. That's why I wasn't keeping up when everybody got on board with Dribble. What's his name? All that stuff.
No idea. I know.
Flint Dribble or Dibble, Flint Dibble, and there's a lot of toxicity going on. And
I like staying positive too. It's not good to be negative. Yeah.
I like to look at, hey, you know what else I like to do is collaborate with others to figure this shit out and actually share something. If you do a panel and you're not showing something, and you're just talking to this nonsense BS, it gets old after a while. It's highly recognizable. And there's a lot of deflectors out there that do it, and they don't share the real info. So I'm here tonight to change your mind about where Atlantis is. And, well, maybe you already agree with me. And also tell you some more about the the terraforming that's been going on all around this planet. A couple of things you should be looking out for in your local neighborhood. I found a whole bunch of stuff in the Rocky Mountains that changed my life. South Africa as well.
I bet.
Oh, but I've only. So sorry, I interrupted you. What was that?
No, you're good. I was just gonna. Excuse me. You've been I had the Sahara 3 times.
I've been there 3 times now, and I went a 4th time and got detained. Did you know about that?
I was not aware of that one.
Yeah, April 1st. Yeah, April Fool's Day last year. Got detained. I was with somebody else. And unfortunately, I have a fixer. He took care of everything. We also got in touch with the embassy, the U.S. embassy, and they sent somebody down. And that was not as useful as I thought. But I think my fixer knew a guy in the office. And our visa, it's a long story. I'll just be quick about it. Our visa was solved, but we did have our moment with the cops. They were going to drag us out of there. It was kind of freaky. And unfortunately, yeah, the guy I was traveling with, he didn't want to be there anymore. I'm like, we're in. We're ready to go. Let's go. He's like, nope, we're done. I'm like, no, we're not done. He's like, we're done. He burned it. He burned the trip. Okay, and what happened was this. First of all, Trump and the immigration policy just got started April 1st, just a few months into his new term. And so they were like changing to an e-visa, and I knew about the e-visa, but what I didn't know was you didn't get. Look, you don't just replace your visa policy with a new system and then suddenly the old system doesn't work anymore. It was pure BS, and I have a lot of criticism against Mauritanian Airlines for letting us get on the plane. And you're not supposed to be able to get on the plane to go to a country if you don't have the right visa. And Mauritanian Airlines is the country. I was going from Casablanca to Mauritania. Yeah, so get your visa.
I can see it where there's definitely a breakdown of communication between the different chapters of government and everything. But yeah, unfortunately, it's pretty common.
Mali and Burkina Faso, they both changed. They were saying they wanted $1,000 for a USA visa. But then recently they just blocked all travel for Americans. So Mali is out. If you want to go to Timbuktu, forget it.
Well, if you're on South California, can you do Mexico?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think Mexico and Canada.
I'm doing my teeth. I got my implant in Mexico. I still need to get the cap. I have 2. So, and then I saw a billboard in Utah that was cheaper than Mexico.
So the Mormons are doing it up, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly. Doing it right. Probably doing it right, in my opinion. So, yeah. What can I say? I'm gonna check my mic level. I always get turned down. I think
it sounds good over here.
I'm just worried that it turned me down to like 8%, and I just want to bump it up because I believe it makes me sound tinny.
You sound tinny. The other guys to me.
I'm gonna just bump it up a little bit, just to 20% now. How does that sound? 20%.
Sounds clear. Crystal clear.
Yeah. I'm just gonna bump it up. Because it always does it. I haven't figured out what's going on with my auto volume adjustment.
Yeah, it's
without
the auto volume's goofy. What's up, Jim? 1001 days.
1001.
Some fun brings smiles. Hell yeah, I like that.
Positive attitude. Forget all the toxicity. And you know what? One thing my mom did before I went to Taiwan 25 years. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I got to show you.
Nerd slap.
In a previous life, David Stig Hansen wrote a book called Not SARS, Just Sex. Actually, a real book that I published in Taiwan. And yeah, thank you one more time. But it's not porn and it's not sex tourism. And I did publish it under the pseudonym Gets His Stig. So you can read it for free on Amazon Kindle. And it is a book about the first outbreak of COVID was in 2002 in Taiwan. So I was already writing. Okay. No.
I thought you were going to show something in there. Yeah.
Like I said, it's non-porn and non-sex tourism. So there's nothing to show. No. And what it is it was following personal life, but I was living in Taipei during SARS 1. And here's the thing, Wuhan lab, same story as the modern day one. Why is it a repeat and nobody realizes it? Number two, not just the Wuhan lab, but the wet market patient zero story. It's the same story. They're just repeating the story. In my book, 20 years later, the same story is repeated. Or I should say it the other way around.
Different agenda, different politicians, different agenda.
So I'm sorry if you had to,
very true.
I'm sorry if you had to get the vax. I almost got it myself, and I got lucky. I'm not anti-vaxxer. I got the yellow fever vaccine to go to Mauritania. I paid like $100 for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Falcon.
Oh, Falcon Vision says the book is very good. Wow. 2003 is when I started all that. I was there when suddenly, and it was not as severe. I could talk about that, but let's try to keep down off the conspiracy theory. 9/11.
We get a nice little community.
I'm here for the conspiracy, but
says COVID-19.
We got to do a separate conspiracy show sometime, Jeff. That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
Let me just disconnect my channel from the stream, and then we'll get started.
100%.
Right. Well, we could do it on this show, just a different time down the road.
Separate episode.
You got to do it about 45 minutes into the stream, and then they seem to not detect it. Otherwise, you're going to get a message underneath your video. You know what I'm talking about? That
already there.
What do they call that?
Yeah.
I just saw a bunch of flat Earth stuff that got that. All right, guys. So give me some big questions about everything. I mean, what do you want to know most about me? About my beginnings, or what brought me? I discovered the Richat Structure in 2009 when I finally was home after the SARS, after shit. I got back from Taiwan for a short, and I just got online and I started Google Earthing. And I'm like, I got to go to the Sahara, and I zoomed in. We're talking about Google Earth, not really going. I've been to 35 countries though, so I mean, I speak Chinese and I speak Spanish, and I'm ready to travel again. I just need money.
Yeah.
It's always the bugger.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent all my money, and now I got to take it easy, and that's why I'm doing a little work. But back to the story was I zoomed in and said, I got to look at, okay, first time I had a nice solid internet connection and time to do whatever I wanted was in 2008, 2009. And I zoomed in to the Sahara Desert. I said, I need to look at the Sahara Desert. And it sounds so weird and like weak, because I really wasn't awake. I can tell you that. I had already been to Angkor Wat. I've been to a lot of places in Mexico, Teotihuacan, and also in Guatemala, but I still wasn't awake yet. And then I zoomed in on the Sahara Desert and found the Eye of. I said, I got to check out the Sahara Desert, and I saw it right away. And I'm like, that looks like an eye. And I just Googled Eye of Africa, and it popped right up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at it. I'm like, Eye of Africa, huh? And I zoomed in, obviously ignoring everything around it, that almond shape, just looking at the swirls, right? Very hypnotic, that thing, right? But let's be honest.
The surrounding looks like an actual eye, and that's like
well, it does, like a pupil almost in the middle, and
Say again?
Up rebirth.
Definitely. It looks like a literal eye. Yeah, like Andy was saying. Yeah.
I think NASA even uses
the Egyptian thing. So 2009, I discovered it, but I immediately went back to sleep, and I did check it out a few times. I even put it on Facebook. I'm going to go there, guys. I said, look at this thing I found in the Sahara Desert. I'm going to go there in a 4-wheel drive. I manifest my future. I manifest my own future. So look, the volume went back down to 8. Anyways, I won't touch it again. But the first time I mentioned it was 15 years ago. And then Jimmy Corsetti, I think we all know who he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody
Bright
not know? Andrew, you know Jimmy Corsetti?
Not personally.
You know who he is? And a lot of people are mad at him about this and that. And honestly, he's been kind of hiding out. He didn't come to Scottsdale like he originally was planning to. And I'm not sure why not, but there's always some drama going on. And I try to stay out of it. I do have his phone number, and I do talk to him sometimes. I've met him a few times. But like I said, the reason why I brought him up is because he's the one. He's the YouTuber that discovered Atlantis. I hate to put it that way, but in my opinion, I feel that he's the right one. Randall Carlson says the Azores, and I can argue against that by what Plato said specifically. There's no secret. Okay, now we have AI. You don't need 17 different translations of what Plato wrote. You go to the original text in ancient Greek and have AI look at it. AI said it was, hear me clearly, at the Pillars of Hercules, not beyond, not before. Because actually it says before the Pillars of Hercules, but that sounds weird, right? So we're talking in the Mediterranean Sea, but it really says before. I've looked into that.
Okay.
But it's not before. What is that? That's the Black Sea? There you go.
Is that what they call the Pillars of Hercules, Straits of Gibraltar?
The Strait of Gibraltar. Okay, zoom in and look at Cadiz. Because that's what Plato says. It was across from Cadiz. Now, Cadiz is right there. Mm-hmm. But does across from Cadiz mean the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, or does it mean out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean? Well, he already said.
I'm going to ask you.
He's pointing across the Strait of Gibraltar. And by the way, one more thing we should say is the flood hadn't happened yet. Look at that map right there. You can see the lighter blue. That's representative of the old sea cliff. That's the old shoreline right there.
Oh, yeah.
So when you say across from Cadiz, okay, so Michael Donnellan, who was at Cosmic Summit, he lives in Cadiz, and he's discovered all sorts of stuff. And he says was Atlantis, the twin of the king of... Okay, let me just say two things, and I'll take a break. The twin of the king of Atlantis was Atlas, and the twin, his brother, there were 5 sets of twins according to what Plato wrote. And if you don't know the story, it came from Solon, and Solon got it from Egypt because he went on a self-imposed he left Greece because of for personal reasons. He didn't want to die, and he went to Egypt, and so he learned that Atlantis was a place bigger than Libya and Asia combined. Now think about this. The story came from Egypt, Sais, the temple. When they say Egypt, Libya and Asia, those are the two countries on both sides of Egypt. Mm-hmm. So Egypt's in the middle, Libya's on one side, and Asia's on the other. So when they say bigger than Asia and Libya combined, by definition, that's a continent, not just an island in the middle of the Atlantic. Okay, so then what I wanted to say about I've got ADHD. What did I just get off? I was about to say what, and I got off topic.
You were talking about the continent, Egypt and Asia.
Well, yeah, no, but Egypt before that. So the thing is that the story that Plato wrote it's at the Pillars of Hercules across from Cadiz. That's Morocco. And everything he says about it points right there. And there's a paper by Michael Hubner, who did pass away, actually pinpointing it right south of the Atlas Mountains. Okay, the second thing I wanted to say was Herodotus and Plato both only knew one set of mountains over there. That was the Atlas Mountains. So when Plato said the mountains were to the north of the capital, there's only one set of mountains. That's the Atlas Mountains. So that's where I can point to the Richat Structure. That's south of the Atlas Mountains. However, it's very far south. It's like 1,000 miles. People say, oh, there's no water. What are you talking about? And some people want to talk about isostatic rebound, meaning the earth changed when the ice sheets melted. I don't believe any of that. I think it's a lot easier. The Atlas River, now known as the ancient Paleo-Tamanrasset River, they don't even point at the right mountains. There's 2 sets of mountains. The Tamanrasset are small, and then you've got the Atlas Mountains, but they point over the Tamanrasset River. No, it's the Atlas Mountains River. It was right there, and it dried up, and it goes right by the Richat Structure. So I think everything south of that was the capital. I found canals. I found a 50-mile long canal. I talk a lot, so let me take that break. No, please give me feedback.
I was sitting there. I'm like, I have a bunch of questions about like what's going on there. I'm like, no, you're answering a lot of them. And I was like, man, what am I gonna jump in and say? Besides, has anything ever been found? Like Atlantean or a different language, a different technology we haven't seen yet.
Any artifacts of anything?
Yeah.
I think that in general, it's ancient quarrying, mining, terraforming, canals, very big megalithic stuff, bigger than, so when you say megalithic, you think of the polygonal walls in Peru, which I think are the best, right? And there's a lot of different walls in Peru that have polygonal stones, and they're so good. You see it in Egypt, right? You've seen the comparisons. You don't see any of that. Yeah, but you don't see any of that in Mauritania. It's bigger. And the quarries, I can talk about Tasil Najir in Algeria. So not just Mauritania, it was Atlantis, right? Pretty much the whole Sahara Desert was, in my opinion, the reason why it's a desert is it was a quarry field itself. The whole thing was quarried. There's so much stuff in Chad, in Libya, in Algeria, a 200-kilometer long quarry, and I can demonstrate this to you. I want to show you I have a Facebook page, facebook.com/was this Atlantis.
Yeah.
Was this Atlantis? And I just basically use it as a clearinghouse for all the stuff I found. And I think it might be better if I shared my screen instead of you.
Why don't you do that?
Let me do it real quick. Let me just set it up real quick. Make sure I got it ready. I got it ready. So here we do it. Let me do it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I just had some bourbon. Share screen.
Thanks for joining.
And I'm even going.
Appreciate it.
Sorry, David. I'd say. Meet 5,000. What is he saying? He got me.
Say, but I got to sleep.
Well, c'est la vie. I got a good joke about c'est la vie, by the way.
Thanks for being
here. I'm sorry it's taking me so long. Share. Yeah, there it is. Veils over their forms. What did Meet 5,000 say earlier? Hey, bald beans.
What's up? Welcome to the show.
Plant which then process capability soften stone, context of marble sculptures. Well, the softening of the stone, that's the scoop marks. There's so many mysteries. I have to be honest. I look at the big stuff. Yeah. The scoop marks are impressive. And
scoops and nubs.
Oh, another thing I want to say, the Mauritania was named so by the Romans. And so when we talk about King Atlas, you hear King Atlas, the real king of Mauritania. Technically, that real King Atlas was not down in nowadays Mauritania. He was in the Atlas Mountains. He was in Morocco. And if you look at the maps of what Rome controlled, the northern part of Morocco was called Mauritania at that 2,000 years ago. So did I share that?
I just looked at the Roman map, and let me tell you.
All right.
What they have for area size, I'm like, it makes sense. They just named one whole continent, one thing. You're like, yeah, all right.
Let me just go through some things for your viewers. How many viewers you got right now? What are we talking about?
We're at 15,000.
I was going to try to make my friend share it on Twitter and get more viewers, and now I forgot. He would have bombed it. He would have kicked it. Okay, so let's just talk about this. I'm going to go through some stuff real quick just because I want you to see stuff. I found this canal, and it points right at the mouth. So that is a 50-mile long canal, and I can show you that more later if you want. It points right at the mouth. It goes right to the lower Adrar Mountains. It doesn't look much like mountains right here. There's a lot of, but that's like 2,000 feet above sea level, and then the sandy area is much lower. I have a lot of opinions. I won't get into them all. Secondly, there was a new find, a second concentric circles. I'm looking at what Jim Fry wrote. Ancient equator alignment. Now that red line right there is Giza connected to Easter Island. You've seen it before in Graham Hancock's. He shows all these things on this ancient equator alignment, and it is the same size as an ancient equator. This new find, I connected the centers and somehow figured out that it's actually completely parallel to that ancient equator alignment. And look at this thing. Now, later on, we could get into it, but because that picture is kind of small, we'll talk about that in a second. But that thing has a canal going right down to the middle and then going off to the side. That was an ancient canal. And there's other ridges going across that thing. It's not as big as the Richat structure, but it's a mystery still. And there's a lot of what I consider proof of technology and not natural stuff around that thing. And I can show you that. I've done a lot of recent videos trying to show some stuff. Let's go through this. This is north of the Richat structure up in Algeria. And what I believe is happening here on these plateau peaks, the tops of these plateaus is a type of quarry cutting. Because if you notice, and I could zoom in more, let me zoom in a little more. You've got not just two sets, but actually three sets of parallel lines cutting through. And let me back out. It actually goes across to the other plateaus. So this, whatever water event caused this, and over here, or maybe it's technically part of the process. I think it might be natural, a water event to wash things away. It's look at those scars. Thank you. It's basically 3 sets of parallel lines, and they go on for more than a mile. Now, the mainstream let me go back to it because I don't want to go off. The mainstream geological explanation for this is that, wait, now I just messed up. Never mind. I was actually going to say something else. My brain. Okay, so anyways, so I'm going to show you a few examples of this. This is beautiful. I think it's very geometric, but over there in other parts of Algeria, I can show you some stuff that's very similar, like the mining. I'll show you soon. I was going to talk about this. It's a ridge. It's a long road or wall. There's a lot of them. Here's another one. This one kind of has 2 ridges. This one, these are small type, but then we find stuff like this. This is all in the same area in the middle of the Sahara. And it's like, what is that? Is that a road or is that like walls? Like somebody's making yards? Do you think that's natural by looking at that? I'll shut up.
Personally, no, because there's too many repeating shapes, the straight line and then the perpendicular line through it on the other end.
In my opinion, I think that's Main Street right there. And this is
first,
I see second, third, the main road, and then you have split offs of houses or whatever stores or whatever they had back then. But to me, they look like ridges, not canals, but a ridge. Now, what I was going to say earlier was regarding these so-called volcanic dikes. Okay, and we can talk more. Like you could say, "Oh, that's not one of them." Maybe not. But what's the mainstream explanation for a volcanic dike? A wall that goes for to a mile, like in Shiprock, New Mexico. You see those ridges. Also, there's a few others I've looked at. Pie Town, New Mexico. If you don't know about it, you've got 2 parallel ridges that are 12 miles long each, parallel, and they're coming off a mountain each. Each one's coming off a mountain. I think that those ridges could have been roads used to move content, mining. Okay, and then I just want to say one thing. The mainstream explanation is, no, these ridges are millions of years old, and there's 3 sets of events. The first event is the bedrock cracks. Then 1 million years later, the bedrock gets filled with magma and
liquid magma
for $1 million. I think I'm wearing the right outfit. So anyways, and then another 1 million years later, that magma crystallizes. Now, guess what? Here's the best part of the whole story is then 1 billion years later, all that other surrounding area gets eroded away. But I can show you kind of evidence that that's not what these things are. They're not one set of crystal from one magma. They have a middle spine and modern day dams have a middle spine made of asphalt or clay. That impermeable wall has shoulders on both sides of it. That's exactly what I think you're seeing at Shiprock. They're impermeable walls for water. So not just roads, like this picture I think is a road. But could they also be little reservoirs? Yes, they could. Impermeable
little pock marks
for treating leaching and treating. Now check this out. This is just crazy. Make this as big as possible. This one, the button on the right. Yeah.
There you go.
Now I wish I could zoom in more. Can I zoom in more? This is Idaho. Okay. I discovered this using topographical. This is called CalTopo. That's Idaho. Now let me ask you a question. What geological explanation is there for these mounds? Okay, so we're literally getting away from. You can take that off. I'm just letting you know this is like 1 million square miles of land with these weird mounds in Idaho. I just discovered this stuff. These are more volcanic dikes in Colorado, making perfect Sahara Desert, going underneath a 1,000-foot tall sand dune. Back in Colorado, I don't want to get too into it, but that crisscross and this crisscross, they're actually diametrically opposed, and they're not natural. Okay, so I'm pretty much
Yeah, there's a lot to show you. South Africa, so many things in South Africa. The big, huge, giant dams that are just. But I think that I should. There's the Algeria one, the Tassil Najer. So there's two types of quarrying, I believe, was happening. Blocks, where they were removing the toll block, and then the other one is where they're like trying to refine it and get gold and placer mining, hydraulic mining.
Mm-hmm.
There's the canal that I found in the Richat structure. This guy went there and he found something really weird. So I'm going to show you that. That's the canal. Okay. It's 50 miles long. That's them standing there. Those are the people in the canal right there.
Wow. They're like ants.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I've been to other canals in the Richat area, but this takes the cake, and it literally points right at the mouth. I'll go back to that other one right here. It literally points right at the mouth. So look, the first time I went to the Richat structure, I was a little heartbroken because the castle, if you know what that is, it was obviously not Atlantis to me. I knew it right away. And I'm like, no way. It turned out it was a French Foreign Legion infantry fortifications, if you know what I'm talking about. And just stones. And, but then when I discovered these canals and more in this area that's actually not right there at the canal, there's lots of ancient quarrying that I can demonstrate. It's a little bit too much to try to push on the audience all at once. Let me just say this, and then I'll back out of my presentation here. I've got other stuff to show you, but I think we should have a discussion. Let me not show you that. That's my adult collection. No, I'm just joking. I got a presentation we can link to. Say that. Oh, here, this serpentine right here. What I was trying to get to about this Algerian thing, there's this serpentine in the middle of it all. They're trying to say it's a natural park. It's a national park now, but it's obviously more than that. And I was getting a little ADHD, but I was just trying to say that there's a few more pictures of that here that really demonstrate it. But so this is my Facebook page, and you can go there. Let me just double down. Yeah. You can go there. Let me just try to find what I was just trying to show you. Okay, so this is Algeria right here, the Tassil Najer, and that was the canal, and then there's more. Here's the serpentine. Oops, I don't want to go there. I want to click. Every one of these pictures in this Facebook page has a link. You can click, and you can go there.
Oh, it goes right to it. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not wasting your time here with teases. I'm giving you the actual link, and you can go there yourself. And you can follow this thing. This thing, in my opinion, they were quarrying away, and for some reason, they left the serpentine there.
Well, they're just following the trail, or kind of like the old copper miners and stuff. You find a seam, you just follow it along.
Mm-hmm. Okay. By the way,
finding like a vein of ore or something.
You guys have the biggest iron vein. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm just talking to Jeff, right? You're right there by that iron vein.
Andrew as well. Yep, we live in the same area here.
Okay. I want to know all about it. I met a guy who was up there working there. I think he got fired or quit, but he told me so much about how they get these. Now, if the thing that I don't understand, though, if that's a vein, why would they leave it there? Like, well, okay, another theory I have about this is that somebody else, we have overburden dumping. We have mine tailings. Overburden dumping has no value. Mine tailings still has some value, right? But I don't think that's what's happening here. I think that they actually literally left something unmined, maybe for a road. And then another group of people went back in and mined it again. So they had a road, even though it's a serpentine road, which doesn't make a lot of sense logically if you're trying to be a serious, you're not making a decoration. You're trying to be efficient. You're not going to do that. But
it could be the technology they had at the time. They got the easy stuff, what they could, came back later, like, hey, we found this new stuff. We can possibly get more out of it.
Right.
Well, actually,
all the time.
Well, like how we go back to old oil sites. Now we can go deeper and exactly. Yeah.
Well, I kind of think that there were less advanced people, Paleolithic, using axe hammers and axe hand.
I was going to say,
and
axes, they were using hammers. Then eventually, Iron Age, Copper Age, Bronze Age. Yep, not in that order.
The first YouTuber to make it to the Richat Structure is named Graham Langdon. In my presentation, he found a cache a literal 100,000 hand axe heads in the Richat structure just sitting there.
I remember seeing that picture. Yeah.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
As soon as they said that, it started to click in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhere down here. I'll find it soon. I want to go straight there. But here's my opinion about that. I don't believe that people with hand axe, there it is there. I don't believe these people would have been able to do the carvings that I am seeking, the ones I'm going after. These are hand axe heads. And there's like 100,000 of them in this cache just sitting there. And you can go to his video. His channel's Archaic Lens.
Yeah.
And it's evidence of prehistoric city found at the Richat structure. And I know where he found it, actually. It's actually, before I go show you that, let me just show you one more thing in Algeria. This thing, I mean, you see a pattern, and this is supposed to be natural, but if you look at it clearly, let me put it back to north-south. No, let me put it like this.
First looks right now, that doesn't look natural.
No.
Thank you. But here, look at it. I want to show you this rectangle right here that's just kind of carved out of the land. If you measure from that corner to this corner down here, and then from this corner to that corner, it's actually the same number. It's a perfect rectangle. And it's got another line going down here and another line going down here. And when you zoom out, you see much more. And I can show you that at the Richat structure too. The Richat structure has it.
Interesting.
It's up where Graham found that stuff. And that's the thing. I feel like these people were deflecting. They're trying to hide the truth. And they're trying to show. So actually, I'll never find the one. This one right here is part of it. I want to go here. And in my opinion, that wasn't done with hand axe heads. That's too big. You can see that's a car. You can see the wheels of a car road right there, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a road. It's not very clear. This stuff is happening all over. But when you look at this single one, how do you blame that on nature? Oh, and that's what I got caught up in. I was trying to talk about volcanic dikes. What the nature, the geological mainstream explanation for this is called jointing. Jointing.
Okay.
Jointing is where there's a predisposition in whatever bedrock that is. The bedrock is like, sorry, I want to go back to this picture to kind of make a point. But the so-called jointing that's going on. Oh, I can just take you there. I'll just take you there so you can see. I know where it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So, ask your question.
I'm definitely not a geologist by any means. We sometimes like to say we are on a Friday night, but inside joke there. Sorry. Anyways, but I mean, just looking at it, you definitely can usually tell what's either water erosion versus wind erosion if you take enough time to do some research on it, but perfectly straight and perpendicular lines, almost in grid-like patterns, same measurements from corner to corner on a rectangle or any polygon for that matter. It just
let me show you some other ones nearby. Yeah. Those are the ones I just showed you. There's these over here that are just weird, and you have to accept that the scan gets worse and worse every year. And let me just say this: I don't know how they did that. I don't think that they did it with technology we use. Maybe acid. Maybe laser beams, but
it's like a spider web looking. Or
the argument is the jointing happens in a predispositioned way, apparently, where the rock. Okay, so if you're gonna have a crack go across the rock, right? So then, which came first, this crack or that crack? We've got 3 sets of parallel lines here. One. And the up down ones, and then we've got 2 sets going across. Those are called relief cuts. I think you use those in that modern day mine you live near. They're called relief cuts because you can't just have straight lines. You can never get the content out. But if you do a nice 45-degree relief cut, then you can start pulling pieces out. I don't know. I know I sound crazy, but I'm telling you. And then look at all these other walls here. This wall, these arcs here, so I was just up close showing you the up close stuff. But as I back out, you have this wall and you can follow it over here. This wall goes over here to the end and joints. 90 degrees with this wall, and then there's another curve here. This curve goes out and creates this nipple. I call that a nipple, and then it curves again, and then it comes down and creates this other nipple there. I think that there's something going on with these walls too, kind of like shiprock.
Where is that that line in the Sahara here, or in Africa? Where is that?
Okay, so this is Algeria
in conjunction to the Atlantic plate fault line.
I don't know where that you say that. See this line right here? That is the ancient Tamanrasset River, the Paleo River. It comes right up here and goes right out here. Don't forget the old shoreline was here, so you can actually see these dots. Meant there was a major river coming out. They proved it. Also, the shoal of mud argument. That's what Plato said was there was a shoal of mud. I believe that is the shoal of mud right there. I don't think that you're going to have a shoal of mud in the middle of the Atlantic by the Azores. I'm sorry. Next question. That was right here. That was right here.
Okay. I'm just wondering if it was like a lot of it would be potentially tectonic, because I know the Atlantic and the Arabian or the
yeah, it's such a
that,
and that's what I was
looking
looking
at.
Those lines are where the tectonic action was.
I literally live on the San Andreas Fault right here. The San Andreas goes right up through there. I live right. I don't want to point right at my town, but that's the San Andreas Fault. So we have the Pacific Plate and we have the North American Plate. But I don't know much about the African plates, to be honest with you.
Okay,
another thing that you stuck. Yeah.
I was just gonna pull up a picture of
take away my. I don't need to share the screen anymore.
No, that's fine. Hey, you're the guest.
Thank you.
Those are some good picks.
Yeah, that's a lot of great stuff. But I was just gonna share this where we have because
there it is. I see.
We got the plate right here, which I think that's saying that's the Arabian plate, unless the Arabian plate.
Well, okay, look, now, I'm going to be honest with you. If that's true, that Atlantic plate. Wait, what's the name of the plate that Africa's in? It says Atlantic Ocean, but that's not the name of the plate. Now I know.
Unless that's Atlantic Ocean, South American.
South
American plate. I don't know.
We
do you have a better picture of this?
Plate doesn't. Okay, so Arabia is not part of that. So the Arabian
that's way over there. Here,
Eurasian plate. Okay, but let's whatever name that it is, you see that there are no big fault lines going through the Sahara. So I'm not a big believer. Now, ley lines is a different story, and human done stuff. All these, what do you call them? I don't know how. Urindiku, the place with the underground cities.
Derinkuyu.
Went there, huh?
Derinkuyu.
Yeah,
Turkey.
I think that we're going to find more and more of that, and I think those things are under the Sahara as well. There's so many things going on in the middle. There's so many things I didn't show you today that it proves to me water control going across rivers. Those same ridges going across rivers everywhere. Water control.
Maybe Dune was a documentary after all. We don't know.
Who?
Yeah. Maybe Dune was a documentary after all. No, but I think that's a good point. There's probably a lot of stuff under the ground that we know nothing about yet. That's yet to be found. There's probably a lot. I bet more than likely.
I have believe it or not, where I live, I have a sub-circuit breaker panel, and I just turned off number 4. If I had accidentally turned off number 3, I would have just disappeared.
Wait
a minute. I have Starlink now too. Starlink. Oh, there we go.
Welcome to the family.
So there you go. Well, I got thinking about.
Yeah, unless it be just smaller faults.
Okay, so you can always have smaller faults, and look, you can see where I pointed out where I live, right on the fault line, and I know how these faults work. I think that mainstream geologists have applied faults to other stuff that aren't necessarily faults because it's the only convenient way to do it. And I'm sorry, I believe in giants now.
I do too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, we did a video on that. Let's stream on that a few months back.
We did, yeah. That was one of our. That was like our first or second.
Well, you were probably talking about Hugh Newman, right? Were you talking about Hugh? I got his book.
No, we were just talking about all across the world, different giant stories and myths and legends and evidence and biblical stuff. Yeah, I believe in giants for sure, at least in the past. Yeah, definitely.
So I've been studying. I'm not very religious, but I do study the Bible, and what I now know is that Goliath, who is probably one of the tallest giants,
too, Jim.
he was a Philistine. He was in Gaza. Now, do you want to know something else that's weird? Is when I was in Morocco, I was it was Ramadan. You couldn't get a beer on the street because of Ramadan, but you could still get a beer.
Yeah.
You could still get the beers at the top floor of your hotel if you stayed in a big hotel. So I was drinking $10 Budweisers and listening to these people talking, and they were talking about the Gaza conflict, and they were like, Philistine this, Philistine that. What I discovered is in Arabic, the word Palestinian is pronounced Philistine. Yeah. So it's the same group of people after all? What's going on here? It's just a mystery to me.
I don't know.
They got shorter though, man. I tell you,
Yeah, right.
What got shorter?
No, but I definitely believe Goliath. And I'm a Christian myself, and I think he was well over 9 feet tall.
Personally. Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Actually, something more like 10 meters. 10 meters tall, I thought. Okay, look, I've got a chart of all the giants, and there's one that's like 30 feet high. And,
he was big.
I thought that was a biblical one. We don't have a lot of reference for the Nephilim. You could always look into the Anunnaki theory. Billy Carlson, a lot of the stuff he's been promoting isn't quite right because he's taken it from Sitchin. And check out one of my live streams with a guy named Tyrone. He actually read the real stuff, and he finds no account of Planet Nibiru in the Anunnaki story. It's interesting. People who came from the ocean, people who came from the water, the fish, and other Nibiru was under the water. So I'm just saying, but however, when we're talking about mining gold, I can show you stuff all over South Africa that supports the whole Anunnaki mining theory. Maybe more than just gold though, right? There's
minerals, all sorts of stuff.
Everything.
Diamonds.
What do they call it? They call it earth minerals, right? Or earth what?
Rare earth minerals.
Rare earth minerals. Yeah, rare
energy production stuff.
Nothing's as rare as we think.
Okay, that's a great. Did you see the same thing I just saw, where they basically claim that gold was created by Illuminati to be rare when you could just go mine gold all day long? And I'll tell you something. I saw a video. They took Home Depot sand for sandbags, and they bought like $800 worth, and they got 2 grams of gold out of that. So you can get gold out of anything.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
especially depending on where it came from. I mean, there's a lot of
currency too.
Yeah.
However,
a lot of gold around here.
They spent like thousands of dollars to get that gold out of there. So you definitely don't want to go with the sand from Home Depot. The sand itself is $800. So gram of gold is now $100.
Right. I mean, I can understand like a mass quantity of gold. Yeah, finding a large mass quantity that's actually monetarily feasible to mine it with all the heavy equipment to move all your stuff up there, like up in the Yukon and Alaska and stuff.
It's over $5,000 an ounce now too. So
I know that's crazy.
Silver's up too.
Crazy.
A lot. My cousin, he texted me last night. He's like, "Hey, how many silver quarters do you have?" I said, "I don't know, like $2 worth." It's like 200. I said, "No, $2 worth." I don't know. I haven't gone through my collection in a while. I'm selling all mine. $17.
Don't get rid of them for a little bit. Wait another year, Jeff. Wait another year.
Don't bother selling them.
I worked really hard to get those.
Sell them. You're gonna lose your money on the spot difference if you sell. Who are you gonna sell them to? Instead, use them as bartering collateral. Use them as a gift or a bartering collateral. You're spreading the love. I have a friend. You're not gonna believe this story. My friend. Okay, I hope that he's not listening. It doesn't matter. I lived in Taiwan 25 years, and when you can go buy gold at the bank in Taiwan. It's different from the USA. So you get that physical gold, and he collected a lot. But guess what he did? He went back to Canada and buried it somewhere. And then his mom started gabbing and telling neighbors that he had buried his gold out on the family land. Last he hears that they're getting he hears that they're getting a metal detector and going out there. It's like, I said, why don't you just a nightmare, right? He's talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gold now because $5,000 an ounce.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna reverse in the chat here a little bit. I had a question from Rubate. When you were talking about the canals of the Richat and the Colorado, what's the connection?
I don't have a lot of canals in the Rocky Mountains. I have ridges.
Maybe that's what it meant.
You also have what I showed you with the parallel lines. It's 3 sets. I think I can demonstrate that also in Canyonlands, Utah, right next to where the Green River meets the Colorado River. You follow the Colorado River and you find these patterns, including the Grand Canyon, places we're not allowed to go. I can show you other slides showing you similar structures in the Grand Canyon. I believe the Colorado River was a major source of hydraulic mining, maybe placer mining. You can find where men were hosing down cliffs, getting it all to just run it all down off the cliff. This was a way to do it. I think they were throwing it all into the Colorado River and letting the Colorado River sort it out and then pulling it back out, processing it in there. I can take it a step further and then everybody will think I'm crazy, and I'm not going to do that right now. But that question right there, the Richat, I believe the canals there were, you think, were they like flood control? That 50-mile long one was going over a mountain. So they had to have had locks, right? Oh, and I never showed you the artifact that the Russians found in there. And it could have been like a lock, this corroded rock. It's very beautiful. You can see it in the Twitter as well, right around that same area. And there's also another thing found in the Richat structure that they found. They went to where I told them to go. Oh man, I had a bad year last year. Not only did I get detained, I accidentally let my passport almost expire. I thought I had like 4 more months. You can't go to places like that with less than 6 months left on your passport.
No.
That's why they always recommend to do it 6 months ahead of time.
Right.
Time I was going to go somewhere, they say that.
The EU is 3 months, so you can still go to Europe with 3 months left on your passport. But it's stupid because it's a valid passport. What up?
Right.
Yeah, I believe that's
in Utah.
I believe that's true, Jim. And you can see it around Canyonlands and the Sharpshooter Mounds alignment. They match mounds that I know in the Richat structure. The highest point in the Adrar Plateau around the Richat structure, those mountains were carved out. You can see the same quarry marks. It's not so easy, but they're there. And there's so much going on. I'm talking millions of years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Not even Atlanteans anymore, but whoever was before the Atlanteans, or maybe the beginning of it. When was the beginning of Atlantis?
Who knows? For all we know, the end of it was the Younger Dryas.
I believe that. Deep dive, the number of the end is there. I'm sorry, I meant to say, you're right. Plato gives that same number of the Younger Dryas, and that is true. The end is that number, in my opinion. Forget Santorini and that miscalculation theory. That's such BS. The Pillars of Hercules is where they are now. Okay. And they're real mountains, by the way. There's a great slide of showing the pillars. They're not some ancient disappeared pillars. They're 2 mountains, the Strait of Gibraltar, the Rock of Gibraltar, which is actually a British overseas territory. I climbed that, and then I went across to the other one called Mount Musa or Mount Moses. And that's I'll try to show that picture later. It's hard to find that picture, but I was going to say one more thing and I just forgot. I was going to say, one more thing and I forgot. ADHD.
This one you're talking about right here?
That looks like it. Yep. Okay. I didn't climb that. I was going to. And that spot I went to the northernmost point in Morocco, that little spot I got a bunch of that right there. I think that's the northernmost point in Morocco. And I went over there. There's a little bit of heavy military. They made me uncomfortable, so I kind of took off. I rented a car and I drove all over there. It was an awesome experience. However, I won't do another car rental in Morocco. I will go by train. And by the way, I recommend Marrakesh. Go to Marrakesh by train. And then you can go to the Atlas Mountains. Marrakesh is way south. My original plan was to drive down there, and I was like, no, I'm not driving down there. I went back up and returned the car. It would have been like 1,000-mile drive.
Yeah, that's a bit of a trek. Yeah. I've driven from way up north to down to Florida.
Up
The
north?
entire length of I-95, and that's a bit of a headache. So
Yeah, I've driven
I
from
know how you
up
feel.
here, up north, all the way down to Florida.
Dude, that's even worse. Dude,
26
wow.
and a half hours.
I went to Sage Wall, and this implant I have a gap in my tooth, and there's an implant, and I actually it's already ready to be fixed, but I've been waiting too long. That implant actually fell out, and I drove from Sage Wall, Montana, down to Yuma, Mexico, Arizona, but the Mexican border. It's like 1,000 miles in one day because I was so upset my tooth fell out.
Wow.
And when I got there, they're like, "No, you got an infection. We're taking the other one out too." I'm like, "Ah!" And then I said, "Oh, by the way, that's on the trip down is when I saw that billboard in Utah giving me a price that was $100 cheaper." I was like, ah!
Dental stuff is the worst, man. I hate it so
unbelievable.
much. I hate it.
Yeah, why don't they just cover it and just make our lives better? Why do they have to make?
Why can't we just pull it out with a pair of pliers ourselves? I'm just kidding. But
go ahead and try that, Isaac.
You can.
I know. I wish someone could knock me out, pull it out, just be done. Come on, 5-minute thing. Come on.
You don't want to pull it out. It's now is the time. The world of implants is here. So
no,
but that means they pulled it. I don't want to talk about that. Oh, and another thing, I went on that Sage Wall trip. I went to the Devil's Slide in Utah, and I I didn't go that time because I missed it. I went to the wrong Devil's Slide. I went to the Devil's Slide in Montana, and it's the same thing. These volcanic dikes. I believe it's like the small one in Utah looks like it's a gold sluice to me, and right at the bottom of that is a river. Right at the bottom. So I feel like they were using that river wasn't big. Check out the Utah Devil's Slide. It's very mysterious.
Yeah.
And it's very parallel.
Okay. While I'm pulling that up, Rebecca McNamara.
You don't even have to pull it up. There's so much to talk about. Just note it and look it up later. If you live in Utah, make sure you visit it. It's right next to a cement mine. I'm telling you, it's all related.
I asked opinion on the Sage Wall, and I'm glad you said that. I was going to bring that up myself since you've been out there. And the only other person that I know that has anything to say about it is Wandering Wolf,
of course,
Michael Collins. And
there's nubs all over it. Why doesn't Wandering Wolf talk about the flattened nub that was exposed when they cleared out the backside? I went there. I got there.
Has mentioned it.
The little nub?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I saw a picture.
I was showing a picture of that nub, but my picture sucked. And here's the thing: was when you get I got there after they cleared the back out, so it was my first time, and my immediate thing was to walk all the way to the end. You literally can't keep going because there's just too much junk and brush, and so you climb up a rock and get to the backside and come back. And at that time, I think I was breaking their new rules, which is I should have gone around and used the rope, whatever. But I was going down the back. I videoed everything. It's on my channel. And halfway down the back, you go and you can see a flattened out top. So why are these? They really do seem unnaturally stacked to me because of the flattened out top. Also, you can see like a foundation layer that's a little bit farther out, like the gums, but it's also stone. If you also don't know, there's apparently another wall on the other side. So it was some words never come to my head. Basically, a chute of some sort, water control maybe, but one of them collapsed. So we only had the Sage Wall on the other side. But on the back side, we've got this nub that's flattened out also. So how does a nub get created like that from a rock that was on top of it that's no longer on top of it? It to me means unnatural. And maybe some erosion happened after the fact that was from nature, and so I can't say the nub was created on purpose. I don't think that, but I think that nub was formed because of the unnaturalness of this structure. I'd love to find that picture. I think I share everything on my Twitter. It's way deep in my Twitter. I think it's way deep in my Twitter. But I think that there's so many millions of things to talk about that we can mention these, and if somebody really wants to know, they can reach out, and I'll find it. We'll find it later. That nub on the back of Sage Wall is a mystery to me, and there are other nubs.
Right? Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
Okay, so in addition to that, did you know sage wall is ferromagnetic? A magnetic will stick to it.
Okay.
What kind of rock, granite or other type of rock, is ferromagnetic? There's probably a few.
Maybe something with hematite or sort of something like that.
I have one in my backyard I brought from Pie Town, New Mexico.
Okay.
Can I show you? Let me share it with you real quick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me I might share my screen one more time, and I'm gonna go to
didn't need to see that search history.
What? No, we're good. We're good. Let me show you my favorite links, my OnlyFans page.
We don't want to pull a quartering here.
Okay, now check this out. Now this is Hightown, New Mexico. And what you're seeing, you can see these two structures going straight, about 12 miles each. This one's kind of hard to see up here. This one is called Pie Town. I climbed it. I'm 58, and I climbed it about 3 years ago, and I almost killed myself. Let me get in a little closer. You can see what we're talking about. There's the road. So when I drove in, I pulled in, I saw it here. This ridge, like I said, impermeable wall in the center, and then the shoulders of a different material. That's what I see there. It's got some crystallized center. This is what I'm seeing all over, South Africa, the Sahara, all over the Sahara Desert. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this goes across the continental divide right here. So I really believe these giants were controlling the continental divide. They were controlling the watersheds. You see this switchback right here. And there's another one down here. These switchbacks, I believe, are like they just want to double. They're grabbing this water, or they're controlling the water. This is the continental divide right there. That is Pie Town, New Mexico. Up here, I drove up here, and I walked, and I was driving, and some guy was walking. I met all these hikers. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Where are you going? They're like, we're doing the continental divide trek. Okay, so they're walking through and then I went up to Colorado, and I found some of these up in Colorado. I won't go there now because I want to try to stay focused.
Right.
But these ridges are controlling our continental divide, our watersheds in the Rocky Mountains. Missouri River comes from the Rocky Mountains. Am I mistaken?
No, I think you're right.
All these different rivers, when I was driving around there, they came from, I'm like, that river is from here? This is the head of, and it goes up into these mountains. So these two parallel lines, you can barely see them. Now, there's a lot more in this area, but I just don't want to, what's up here, all this weird stuff up here.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's interesting.
This mound right here, I feel like that looks a little obvious to me. But let's be honest. I also went up into the Central Valley of California, and this mound you can already see it. That mound is highly sus, brah. It's already so.
That is interesting.
It's already so, if you drive there, and I went to CPAC up here. It was over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Dr. Robert Schock and his wife. And after I met them, I went over here. I had to go around this thing. It's not just one. Okay, so when you back out, obviously this was one circle, and then it degraded and became different stuff. But it started as one circle, probably millions of years ago.
Yeah, that's definitely something.
Were you aware this used to be a lake? And oops, what happened there? Oh, I want to hide that.
No,
this used to be a lake right here. Central Valley it held water, and down here at the bottom, you still see this big water project going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's these weird, look at these lines right here. Anyways, now I'm going too far. I don't want to just start going weird. I'm trying to focus on real stuff. So, that stuff I just showed you, I went there, and driving around, in addition to the big ancient stuff, then you have the California mystery walls. Those can't be that old because they're here. There's one of them. These mystery walls, they've been attributed to the Chinese in the 1800s, but it's already been proven they're older. You find these walls going everywhere. These mystery walls. That's not modern day.
No.
And the Chinese would have had to have moved rocks bigger than cars. because when you look at it, you see rocks that are way bigger. Here's another one right here. Now, some of them are maybe have been changed for modern day use. This stuff is all over. These probably 1,000, 2,000 years old. I don't know. And now we get into a different topic, the Tartarian topic, right? Tartaria. Have you heard of my free lunch? I'm sorry, my lunch break.
I have not.
No.
My lunch break, he's my favorite guy. I'm going to show you a couple more things
before we get into that real quick. I do apologize. I do have to bounce early. I have to attend to some stuff. You can find me here at 10 p.m. Eastern in the GCA Discord. We're going to be doing a watch party. ABF's making me watch Tropic Thunder for the first time. So
yes, hell yeah!
Great
job.
Yeah, never seen it before in my life, so that's where I'll be in an hour. But
I'm gonna come check it out. I'm gonna come check you out. We're probably almost done here, right?
Heck yeah! No, I do got to make some calls. Lovely streaming with you guys as always. Nice to meet you, Stig. And again, awesome, Jeff and Andy. You guys have a great week. See you later.
Thanks being here, Isaac.
See ya.
See ya.
How much more time do we have?
The hour point. Yeah. Before we continue, Jim asked any thoughts on the natural wall in the Keweenaw Fault. I call it the Keweenaw Wall.
I saw it. Yeah, it looks very, very unnatural. Wandering Wolf went there.
Andy and I brought him there.
Oh, good. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, my God. I saw that video. Maybe you guys are in the video. It's been about a year and a half, right?
We are. Yeah. That was my first. I think it was my first YouTube appearance.
To me, that looks like bricks. That looks like bricks.
It does. This picture doesn't do it justice how tall it actually is.
No, I saw the video, bro. I saw the video, I totally think it looks like bricks. And this is basically what they say is a volcanic dike. I have found walls like this in Colorado while driving. I just showed you the ones in Pie Town, but the ones up in Willow Creek, they also look like this one. And then if you go over to what's called Spanish Peaks, you have one called the Devil's Stair Steps. That one is gigantic, like humongous. How tall is that from the top to the bottom right there? Hey, let me guess. It looks like 15 feet.
Oh,
20?
It's got to be 50, 60, maybe more.
60.
That's Mike down here compared to it.
Oh my gosh. Let me zoom in. Okay, let me
6 foot, 6'1".
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Dude, and now there is a modern day dam in Colorado that they're building to catch this water that comes through an ancient tunnel. And it has this middle ridge, it's only about like 3 feet wide, pure asphalt, impermeable to water. Let me ask you this, because I don't remember the video. Is there a river right there?
Yeah, there's a creek bed right here.
Well, it's a small one, but it's not like a river or anything.
It doesn't matter because it could be a wash that's more ancient and bigger.
Right. It's a deep this valley that it's in. It's as high as the wall itself.
Yeah, like this is the top ground after it.
Okay, so to me that says it's damming activity. Now let me ask you another question. If you follow it across the river, is there something on the other side? Because I found it in my examples on the other side.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the other side of the river.
Okay, wait. Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's exactly like what I found in Willow Creek, in Spanish Peaks, in Pie Town. These walls are directing water. There's ancient water controlling activity. And that one right there has the bricks. I didn't realize it was that tall. I thought it was a lot.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's why I didn't get so excited about it.
Yeah. So the backside of it, which is where it kind of like starts to like form into more plate-like structures. We still have the cracks in it, but they're just not as flat and smoothed out as the rest of it. That's the part that kind of makes me lean towards the just natural formation. And I did reach out to a professor of geology at Michigan Technological University, and he gave me an explanation on what his interpretation of it is. He said it wasn't a volcanic dike, though.
I'm curious now. So what did he say?
I need to find the email. It was a while ago. I had it.
Okay, let me say yes. It was the uplifted earth strata, right?
That's what the internet says. That's what some geologists say. That it's Jacobson sandstone, and it was flat, and then it lifted up with the.
If that were true, If that were true,
isostatic
then
rebound of the
you go to that line.
the Keweenaw
Oh.
fault. Yeah.
Okay,
the
so
Keweenaw
if that
fault
were
right
true,
there
you go up
drops
to that
anything
wall
you're
and you look, and there would be
tracking.
straight up and down lines from the strata that used to be horizontal, right? It's not though. It's blocks. It ain't no straight up and down line.
That's what my question is too. It's like, okay, so I've read other geologists say that it was horizontal and it cracked and then it lifted up. So okay, how come it didn't collapse and crumble if it was already cracked horizontally?
Okay, I'll be honest with you. The Devil Slide in Utah, it almost reminds me of the devil went down to Georgia. These things are always named after the devil, the Devil's Tower, right? The Devil's Slide. And so this Devil's Slide in Utah, up the freeway, there's a lot of what looks like uplifted strata, a lot. And I mean, like if I had to say, is that natural? I would even say that looks pretty natural. But then you go to the Devil's Slide, which is right by a mine, and it's a perfect slide with two parallel walls. And it's like, that doesn't quite look the same. And now what you're looking at doesn't quite look like the same as uplifted strata. Well, you were going to say something, a third thing. What was that third thing? What's the third explanation for that?
I've tried to find the email right now. It's been a little while. But it was
amazing.
erosion. Like it was up, standing up, and he eroded around it.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Yeah, that's called the volcanic dike explanation. But
yeah. So I don't. Yeah.
Look, I'm a conspiracy nutcase at this point. I'm a crazy guy at this point because I have a theory that's almost above and beyond giants.
There it is.
And it involves mountain building. I believe that they're actually building mountains. I think I can show you in Niger at the upside down Homer Simpson little face structure, what they call a mountain. And then in Mali, the circular dikes in general, there's so many of them. And it's like, what? It's a volcanic plug. What? And I do not believe it's an ancient tree trunk. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is what the professor said. See, the natural wall is not a volcanic dike, as some have speculated online. It is a resistant layer of Jacobsville sandstone that was rotated from the horizontal to vertical by movement along the Keweenaw Fault. So yeah, he's saying that. The sedimentary layer that forms a wall is relatively hard sandstone and conglomerate that is more resistant to erosion than softer, silty, muddy layers upstream and downstream of it.
So he's admitting it's sandstone. Do you believe that's sandstone, your wall? I don't think that's sandstone.
What do you think it is?
Harder than sandstone. That's a good question.
It definitely looks like sandstone.
All right. I mean, now the Sphinx is limestone, so I guess limestone's pretty hard, and that's a sedimentary stone. I don't know.
Have you taken like I said, I'm not a geologist.
But have you?
No.
I try to get samples from every volcanic dike I visit. I've had some failures. The Devil's Slide I just mentioned in Utah, there's a river that I knew how to. I could have snuck in if I wanted to, but I didn't want to get in trouble, break the laws. I knew a way I could do it. I would have had to jump a fence, and I was just to test a magnet. But if it's ferromagnetic, I'm curious because the Pytown is ferromagnetic. Sage Wall is ferromagnetic, and you see what looks like granite, but it's a little bit finer black-white pieces. And the ones at Devil's Tower in Colorado, Spanish Peaks in Colorado, where the Devil's Stair Steps are, there's like 100 volcanic dikes there. The diametric ones I showed you, they're more than just parallel. They're so intelligent. In my heart, I have no doubt that they were created by someone. Usually, most of the people who want to go to the Richat Structure, they abandon me at this point because they can't fathom what I can't unsee this stuff. And down in South Africa as well. Can I show you my South African? I found it. I call it Stig's Mound in South Africa. I think it's pretty important for viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost ready. Just share my screen again.
Yep.
So we're gonna zoom in to Lesotho. I know you might pronounce it Lesotho, but it's Lesotho, And as you get down, you have this little, if you call that the alien's head, the little tiny smile. It's called Mohale's Hook. This long, 20-mile long, basically a channel, just like what I think Sage Wall was. I was looking for that word, I couldn't spit it out. This is also a channel, but when you zoom out to the end of the channel, you get another line here, and you follow this line, and you get to this structure. And I'm telling you, you don't find any name to this structure. Mohale Hook Turnoff. You can, let's take a look. Do we have a picture? That'd be cool. We don't have the little man either. I know we don't have the man here, do we? Oh, we do. Oh, I gotta look at this.
Oh, really?
This
I gave you Street View there.
This is the first time I've ever done this. This is the first time. So there it is, my mound. It's called Stig's Mound because I named it, because there's no name. There's no name on the maps. But let me show you a little more about the mound. Hold on. Where is it? Let me back out. I got lost.
I know what
there it is. All right, let me show you. So this mound, if you go up to it like this line goes on for about like 10 miles, whatever. There's a line that goes right in front of it. And these are actually failed volcanic dikes, because the gap, there's a gutter, not even a dike anymore. But if you go to my mound, you can look at it this way.
That
now, wait,
on.
there's two more mounds back there. That one I'm pointing at here and here, they're all aligned. Yeah. There's 3 mounds there. Let me zoom into the other ones if I can. There's this mound. Whoops, I'm a little too close. I flew too close to the sun.
Yep.
Those little white specks are houses, by the way. And then there's this mound, this little one right here. And so nowadays, when I see something like that, I think somebody put it there. And then there's this mound, and there's a cut through right there. Like they're going straight up. Why is that cut through right there? And then what the heck is going on at the top of this weird mound?
Could that one possibly be a volcano?
You know, volcanic activity, you have no caldera. Okay, so the rim of a volcano. Where's the rim? I can show you more. Okay, I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. But I can show you other mounds that are so conical that I believe it was an overburden dump. They were getting, maybe it was mine tailings. As I said, there's no value to an overburden dump. And I believe in the Sahara, they're getting rid of these overburden things by making snail trails. But the conical, I can't grab it real quick, so I can't get you there. The conical mountains down here, I think they're like mine tailings. They're trying to save them. But yeah, there's a freaking mound alignment here. And that one, and this one.
Yeah, that first one here, the larger one there, that definitely looks like a step pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got it. It's like come on. The only time I see some, And the implication by naturalist argument is that this is a strata line here and this is a strata line down here. But I don't think so. And I can show you more. I'm just going to show you a couple more things. I'm not going to talk for a second while I find it. There's so many more things here in South Africa that you can always interrupt while I get it. Where is that? Up here.
Becca asks, curious what y'all are drinking, Andrew.
Yes, I am drinking Proper 12 and ginger ale.
A little Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
Proper 12 is whiskey? What is Proper 12?
Irish whiskey.
It's what's his name? MMA fighter.
That's
Andy.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. I couldn't think of his name. It was blanking out.
Oh, you mean Ewan McGregor?
Close enough.
Close. I was gonna say, Jeff, grab some shovels and go on an adventure.
You know,
I live dig down far enough. We'll find something.
Yes, Frost.
Okay,
Stig,
I am drinking bourbon. This is what is this? This is the cheap stuff. It's Evan Williams, 43%. The last sip of what I've been drinking all night. Just something a little bit stronger than the beer. Is that a fly in my beer? Oh well.
Better drink it anyways.
I should just finish it. Here we
go.
I
got coffee.
Because that's totally natural at 8:30 at night.
Coffee. Hey, don't knock
it. I don't really have to work tomorrow. I gotta attend some construction conference that I got to sign up for still. So I plan on staying up late and hopefully doing more research while watching Tropic Thunder over in the GCA Discord.
Yeah, I'm trying to slow back so I can actually
didn't
watch
show
the
what it
whole
was.
movie.
Right. Jim says Kettle One.
Kettle
Fancy.
One. You know, Dr. Gundry says you shouldn't be drinking clear vodka. It's not as healthy as darker whiskeys and stuff. But hey, sometimes a nice sometimes a nice vodka. Oh, let me show you this structure here.
There might be a little extra in there than coffee.
There's so many things out here in South Africa. I'm just going to first introduce it, and then we'll talk more about alcohol. I see three structures. There's an angle here. This angle here has an ancient shortcut.
Oh, wrong button. Sorry, I was trying to zoom in larger screen.
And then over here we have this isosceles triangle. So this line goes through them all. And I just want to say over here, there's this channel that almost has a perfect rectangle about here of these ancient lines. They're not quite volcanic dikes anymore. They're these gutters. I don't know what they are, but look at this 90-degree intersection here and here. And you can follow this line up to another channel here. It's not as beautiful, but this channel also has two parallel structures. I feel like they were doing something in the channels. Don't forget the first one I just showed you, these channels. The first one I showed you down here, you have the Mohale's Hook channel. And this one is got like maybe a leaching pond at the end. It looks like a big, huge phallic symbol. But you keep going and ignore that. You can get down here and see. You can actually follow the blue man, and you can look at these things. They look like mountains, but these straight lines, I don't think they are natural. This one turns 90 degrees and then cuts across this other one, and then they change places, and then the lines are now going separately up into the mountains. And yeah, not so unnatural looking. Right? Sorry, they're not so convincing when you talk about if they're natural or not.
Mm-hmm.
But here, I think it's a pretty. That
one's interesting, yeah.
So these channels are all along the mountains in Lesotho. But what I was zooming into a minute ago is called, I forgot the name again. Let me zoom into this because I just found it. These triangular mountains that have been carved. I think it's from mining activity. This one over here has a triangle, an angle. These roads, they're almost like a gutter. They go right along the cliff. I think that these mining tractors were going along these ridges and scooping out the content. Ancient mining activity, in my opinion. I don't think it's natural. And going back to, there's more. I forgot about that little one right there. And then over here, we got another one, so we got triangles. And we see triangles, you've got three sets of parallel canals. Okay, it's above this. It's over here. There it is. This is called Colon Yama. And I already showed you, but I want to zoom in a little more and show you this line here going across. It actually is part of an isosceles triangle. I'm going to just go there first. Then I want to show you another part of it. But you zoom in.
Okay.
It actually cuts through this bedrock. And I'm going to say I think this white stuff is also part of the overburden dumping or earlier version of some mine tailings that a later culture went back and mined. I think this triangle is meaningful, but if you follow the line down, it kind of disappears for a second, but you clearly see it's part of this ancient intersection. And in my opinion, let's go back to north. So that's north right there. So you got the east-west road. You got more of a north-south road, not quite. But then you got this little shortcut. Now, I actually can show you two of these. I'm not sure how lucky I am when I do this, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to try to find it. It's somewhere over here. Is that it right there? There's there's more than just what I'm trying to show you.
Yeah,
there's so much. There it is right there. Look at this one. Okay, so this one, again, this is still north-south. Let's just make it perfect. But so maybe this was an ancient axis of the earth, and maybe this is the old east-west and north-south. I don't know. But what I see here is the same thing. You've got this intersection, and then you've got a shortcut cutting off. I'm going to tell you, these measurements are exactly the same. 100 feet from here to there, 100 foot. And I think they were roads that were leading off. We'll go back to the other one. I can't believe I found it. I'm so lucky. It's right there.
And you find a lot of stuff on here on Google Earth. Eh?
There it is again. So if you literally measure this right here from this this point to this point, I probably won't get the perfect number match, but we'll try. And you go from here to here. This is 100 meters. That's 100 meters. Then we zoom out and we go back to the other, what I think is an ancient intersection. Got to make sure I can find it. Let's close that. I got lost. No, there it is. I found it. I'm so lucky.
Lost
so lucky. So lucky. Okay, let's measure this one now.
All right.
The last one was how many meters?
You said 100.
100.
That says 109. So approximately the same distance, 10% difference. And we can get more picky if we want. So these, I think that's an ancient shortcut. Like the guy he didn't want to go this way. So over time, they started going this way. And you can see how this road or whatever you call it, gap, here it's like 40 feet wide, but when it separates, it turns into little skinny roads.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this was a major, and this one's skinny too. I think they were transport roads. And there's so many more. Like you could just spend hours and hours looking at all this stuff. I mean, there's so many weird cliffs and ancient stuff. Hard to give the attribute to. There's the one I showed you already. Hard to attribute that to normal erosion. And these were the first times I experienced these dikes, and they're not even close to what I found in Colorado. The ones in the Americas are very clearly walls with shoulders. But whatever's going on down here is a different, all cray different. All sorts of cray stuff.
Ralph, good to see you.
All right, I'm going to shut up for a while. Please
remove from stage. Okay, see ya.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot going on down there. I mean, so the Google Earth, do you upgrade for the better version, or are you just using the standard version on that?
I don't pay for Google Earth. Okay. I don't pay for the new Cal Topo. I could be paying for it. The LiDAR scans that I have been showing to show these weird, the same ridges, damming activity right at the Richat Structure. It's not very clear anywhere else, but somebody came up with this one LiDAR scan, and suddenly all these new ridges were exposed, not in the Richat, but surrounding the Richat on the plateau above the higher points. Because the Richat Structure is a bowl.
Right.
But the rings inside it are actually as high. And I haven't mentioned anything about what I believe was the end of Atlantis, the Sebket El Guelb crater. You know about the Carolina Bays? Yes. So the thing about the Carolina Bays is they're very shallow. And while George Howard thinks it was more the Younger Dryas, Antonio Zamora, I met him at Cosmic Summit. He thinks they're a little older, about 100,000 years old. And I kind of think that they were created by an impact that created the Great Lakes. They just seem to be pointing right there. There's a correlation. But these Carolina Bays are very shallow. And I asked him, I said, because I heard one of his videos, I'm like, that's the same thing as my crater. And I forgot what he said. He said it's called viscous relaxation, where a crater becomes shallow from all the activity that fills it with sediment. Now, there is a crater just like that in the center ring of the Richat Structure. And I believe that it is a strike. And then those Russians, they found a crazy thing in the middle of it. And it's like, wait a minute. So mainstream says it's a volcano also. And it's like, what? Another volcano? Okay,
it doesn't look like a volcano to me.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You've seen my videos. It's called Sebket El Guelb.
Okay.
And it's not the center island, but it's the first ring. There's only three quadrants, and the one quadrant that's missing, there's an impact crater right there. The mountains are missing. And I don't care how this thing was created. This concentric rings don't just get displaced like that. Randall Carlson says it was Well, he didn't say volcano, but he said it was he basically implied it was a volcano related action. But I think it's a crater. It's perfectly circular. It doesn't look that way because of the the alluvial fans that have burst through the rim. But you can still see if you follow the rim, it's still very circular, a little bit elliptical, a little bit. But then the Carolina Bays are so elliptical,
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I think that's how the Great Lakes were made. Maybe Ontario or here, Erie, because they're a lot smaller. But from what I'm aware,
look at that thing that's on the Mars. Look at that thing that's on Mars, whatever that is.
Oh, that big scar. Yeah.
That's freaking big. Something did that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing it. Something did that, right? I think that's pretty much bigger than the Great Lakes, maybe. I don't know. I think that because of the older maps, if you check out older maps, they don't show the Great Lakes. And you would think that they would have had some sense of there being water there when they were creating these ancient maps from not that long ago. So I don't really believe everything I say because the maps I'm talking about aren't that old. And
they say the maps I'm aware of are 1600s when the Jesuit priests made their way across the Upper Peninsula, and they sailed across Lake Superior. They used that as part of their along the shorelines and stuff like that, so they knew about it. Well, and we at least up to 10,000 years ago, and like the 5 different stages of glacial lakes as they were melting too. So at least from what
have you noticed, there's a straight line on those lakes in Canada. There's a straight line of lakes.
Mm-hmm.
They have this direct straight. And I'm not.
I think there's got to be so many different impact craters for sure that have just completely eviscerated our.
Well, there's actually about 5 impact craters.
Talking about. Yeah, there's a bunch of them up in Quebec and stuff like that, Labrador.
It looks to me like the whole. What is the name of Hudson Bay? It's not Bay. The big one. Hudson Bay.
Hudson Bay, yeah.
Look, because I always get mixed up, and it's because of that Robin Williams movie, Moscow on the Hudson, right? Hudson Bay is basically that one part of that big, huge bay. Am I wrong? Let me just turn on the.
Sorry, Graybush. Why does Stig look like Bret Hart?
Who is Bret Hart? Because Stig lost a lot of weight. Now he's
the third. Cool. I think that's the third person to ask that too.
Bret Hart.
I saw 2. I think I saw 2 people at the beginning say you look like Bret Hart.
The wrestler.
Oh. Yeah. Hugh Newman was saying I look like this other boxer guy. Okay, what is the name of this place? There's so many mysteries in this big, huge bay. Okay, Hudson Bay, and then down to the bottom near as far south as it goes, there's this one little area. What's that called? It doesn't really have a name. Wait, there's this one island in the. Wait, is that it? You're showing it. Don't show it.
I gotta pull up here. I thought you were trying to show something.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah, look at all those little different impact craters. You see the circles.
Yeah, over here you've got these 2, and to me, I do believe those are impact craters. Also, I think that you can see how the ice changes land so much. Mm-hmm. And I have one guy I know named at Zero Control. He's been through here and he shows the moraine lines. These moraines going across, and I'm convinced that they were some kind of weird ancient roads that were around before the actual ice sheets. It's kind of hard for me to find them, but you see, I think they're called moraines. Am I wrong?
Like I said, I'm not much of a geologist. I should know these words, but I try to learn too much in one day. I always forget more.
Stuff like this, man. Stuff like this just.
But it sounds about right. Accumulation of unconsolidated debris, regolith and rock, sometimes referred to as a glacial till. Yes, you're correct.
And what happened here they were walls that got covered in this ice sheet, and then they got distorted because when the ice melted, it just pushed them all over. And you can see, let me just back out a little bit. So he shows a lot going across this area right here. These moraines. I can't seem to be finding any. I don't call just everything a moraine. I'm not the type of guy that just, that's it. That's proof right there. No, that's not me. I question everything, but I'm not going to be saying it was it.
Right.
It was.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's just so much scarring and glacial scrapes. Yep.
Lots of it. And by the way, big question: what about these 4 parallel lines going across the Pacific Ocean?
Oh, that's just the United States moving across away from Japan.
You think it's scans? Okay, you could blame it on scans.
That's fiber lines.
Scans.
We got internet.
These lines are from
there.
scans. That's a scan, right? And that's another thing over here by the Azores. There's a scan right here that's mystified people. Right in there. Where is that? Right there. You can find this grid that somebody scanned. A lot of people think that was Atlantis. But I'm not a big fan. And the reason why was because even before the glacial maximum melted, this land up here was only about 100,000 square kilometers. And over here, Plato mentions the level plain near the concentric circles that was filled with a matrix of canals. I actually walked down these 2 canals first. My first trip, I went over here, and there's these 2 parallel canals right here. I've never been to this one, only because I'm an idiot sometimes. But I went to this one, and to me, it's really clear that it's a straight canal type of cut through. And this is the small one. This is only about 20 feet deep. It's not like the big one, and it goes through this dark area. But over here is where I went, full of trees, which to me is representative of water being there somehow. All these trees, and this canal I think was kind of a flood control canal. Like maybe it wasn't always full of water. You can see these cut marks right between that. Right here, there's this area is the highest point in the Adrar Plateau. And over here, I call this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and his nose is a mound that's actually shorter than the plateau. It's got a cut through right through it. I drove right here and got a shot. You can totally see that cut through. And this mound down here also has a cut through. You can barely see it here, but I went down and got a shot of it. This 2 cut throughs actually go to the main high point. I'll show you over here. This one, you can still see the line going to this main point over here where the mountain is at the highest point right here. Well, if you look at the edges, you can see these cuts all around it. Cuts. It's kind of hard to see here. You got to maybe use the history to get some better shots. These cuts right here, you can kind of see them here better. These lines were just all parallel, cutting away at the top of the plateau. And they're surrounding this whole area. They go down here. You can see them down here. They're all the same direction. I believe that there was some right by the canal I visited, but I went here on my first trip. I went over here on my 3rd trip. And to me, this whole area was quarried. I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's more. There's a lot more. And then the 50-mile canal that I talked about, let's just try to visit that real quick.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to get there. Sometimes I get lost, but let me just back out and make sure I can find it. See, you get the mouth lined up right there. There's the mouth of the Richat. And so you get into right about here. Where is it? Come on now. Come on. Papa needs a new... Wait, is it over here?
There's a lot to try to figure out.
There's a lot of lines. Like I feel like these are also like tributary canals, not the main ones, but like smaller versions of it. Let me just back out a little bit.
Your expertise in Google Earth. You're like, I've seen these lines before. I'm over here.
10 miles west. I was like, that's it.
I literally spent hours. Now, here's where it starts. And so you can back out. You can say, where is it going? Across this open area, maybe it's pointing directly at the what's called the Senegal River down here, way down here.
You can tell everything looks like it's flowing.
Now I'm lost again.
In that direction.
I did it again. I was so close.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been a contender. Where was that?
Next time, right?
No. This time, I promise. This time, I'm going to show you. You're going to be convinced. But I totally messed up just now. Let me just find. And by the way, this thing is called the white the White Valley, that to me is like a long ass canal as well. All right, it's over here. Let's find it. Boom. There it is. All right, we're good. Zooming into the beginning of this canal. So the Russians, I don't know how they got here. And by the way, quarrying nearby, all this stuff over here, I feel that's quarrying when I see this type of pattern. But we're going to go back to our canal. We're going to follow it. It aims right at the mouth. Now here you can kind of see it. It does disappear here, but quickly returns. We've got mounds over here, other weird canals. And the Russians went here. So that one picture of the Russians, they found that thing down in here. There's still water here, okay? There's water right here. So that's water. That's a reservoir. So 10,000 years ago, there was water, and now there's still water, in my opinion. And you can follow this canal. The scan got shitty. You get.
I don't want you to see this stuff.
You get updates. You go into the historical scans of some of this and go back, and you can find better shots of it. You know, not that one. Okay, so and then 85. That went straight to 85. So I was wrong about just this one. This one's probably the same scan.
They were spying on us 45 years ago.
85. That was when I graduated from high school. Now you know I'm old. I graduated from high school in 1985. The first scan, and it looks so shitty. So I know it looks like it's disappearing, but wait. I know that you're going to be like, no, it's gone now, David. No, you can see these cut throughs through this right here, right here. It just, I know that that's not so impressive, but it returns. Trust me, right here, right through this little, we call it a breccia outcropping. Right here. It's kind of hard to, there you go. I guess it shifted a little right there. It kind of disappears. You're like, what is going on here? Sand covered it up. I know some people are like, this scan sucks. I don't see shit. But trust me, it comes back.
You can definitely see it.
Yeah, it's a straight line. I promise. I've looked at it for many hours. And these scans have changed. And when the scan did, oh, there's a house right there. When the canal disappears in the sand, you often see a line of trees. So I like how you see trees on both sides of this canal here.
Yeah.
But yeah, where is it? I don't see it anymore. It reappears. There's another part. I'm kind of feeling like I should zoom into this other part. Oh, there it is, right there. Now, before we get way up there, come into here, and you'll see that you can see a break through the trees right down the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
This is going on for 50 miles. Here is another really prominent cut through. And that's not the end, but we're gonna be seeing less of prominence. You can kind of see here. I kind of suspect right through here that it literally had locks. You can see here there's a line going through. Kind of disappears there, like what's going on there? And then at the very end, we're going to finally get to this end. I feel like it may have even separated into 2 lanes right here. And it went through, I think this is the main one. And when you get out to here, you can still see trails of trees, long lines of trees. Let's find that last one way out here. Just in my opinion, where are they? There's the last line is out here in the middle of nowhere. Where is it? I lost it. Okay. I lost it. It's out here somewhere. Like the last little bit of like right there. And I do believe that this was a sea at that point. I do think that there's a lot of walls you can find out here. Let's zoom out. This edge of this mountain, the edge is right there. And then once you get beyond that, you're in an open area like a sea. Okay. Woo-wee! Talk too much, Stig. I talk a lot.
I'll tell you what, you covered a lot of ground. Pun intended.
As literally.
No, that was pretty great. That was pretty good. That was great.
Heat it up.
Yeah, let's see. Have you warmed up enough yet?
I'm overheated, but I don't want to show the bald. Okay, maybe it kind of looks cool.
Hey, there you go. Bald is beautiful. Remember that.
Bald is beautiful. I have to do it. I cut my own hair now. I have no social life. Do you? You cut it, you just shave it. I just start in the back and just go straight over. Just take it all off. I mean, I don't
Not
know.
me.
Maybe if I was
Still
Yeah,
hair.
this guy.
you guys are all lucky. Look at that hairline.
I'm not.
Although I did shave it for New Year's, so
You
it's shorter than it
disgust
should
me.
be. But
You've got the little sorry, the
Widow's
Peak.
Peak coming in. Yeah.
well, that little, I call that the sorry, the Eddie Munster thing. You know who also has
Yeah.
that is the girl who's on Addams Family. She has that, but I think they use makeup to make it. No, mine's the other way. It's just total. It's time for me to go to the Turkish hair club for men,
There you go.
and that's where Göbekli Tepe is.
Yep. I was supposed to go there, but I never made it out.
I was supposed to go there when I was detained in Mauritania. We were doing one-way tickets. We went one way from Casablanca to Mauritania, and then we had the ticket from Mauritania to Göbekli Tepe. Not direct. You had to go through Istanbul. So let's talk about traveling. You guys want to go there? I can tell you how to get there.
I
By
jump on a plane and fly. I'm there.
Okay, but if you want to go to Mauritania, there's like 3 hubs: France, Istanbul, and technically the Canary Islands is a pretty good hub for it, which goes through France. But I don't want to go stay in Istanbul for 11 hours I have to wait 11 hours for my flight both ways. So you're literally there for like in this airport. It's got a lot of stuff, but how long can you be in this airport for like a day, you know?
I was gonna say, do they have any alcohol at this airport in Istanbul?
They do. Thank
You can
God.
make it
Because
visible.
Mauritania is
Do
a
they
dry
close early,
country.
or are they up late?
Let me tell you, if you go to Mauritania, you don't try to buy your Maker's Mark bottle in California and take it there. They're gonna find it.
No wonder you got arrested.
Yeah, I got detained. Yeah. That was a teardrop for the Maker's Mark they found. What you do is in the airport in Istanbul or the other one, even what's that other one? In the Canary Islands, they land there too. Something. You go over and you buy the whiskey, and then you buy iced tea, and you empty out the iced tea and you fill it with the whiskey. But the problem with this is if you're a drinker, you're going to drink all that whiskey when you first arrive anyway. So it's gone the first day. But it's a good way to get at least a little shot inside Mauritania. So
buy Egyptian whiskey. It'll last more than a day.
I bought some sugar. What was it called? It's basically 30% whiskey. It's got a little sugar added. I paid $100 for a bottle of whiskey in Nouakchott from a taxi driver. Totally not worth it. At least it got me a little drunk. But
better off just sobering up for a week or so.
let me just tell you, and then you can wrap whatever up. I'll stop giving you new information. Don't go to in Paris. You can go to Paris, but then you fly from Charles de Gaulle down to maybe Guinea, and then you go up to Nouakchott, Mauritania. Instead of doing all that, my advice is you go to Madrid in January. From my town, it's $400 round trip to Palm Springs Airport, very close to this undisclosed location I'm in. I'm closer to Joshua Tree. So I could have left from right there. The first time I did that, I went from LAX. It cost me $200 by Uber to get to LAX. It's like, forget LAX. You go to Madrid using your local international airport. You get to Madrid, and then you just go to Morocco and take a plane from Casablanca. Casablanca is a very boring town, but Marrakesh, now that town is fun. Okay.
Great Lakes form the ancient sea basin. That's why one can collect 350 million marine fossils. Just wanted to pop that up quick. Thanks, Ralph.
Well, and it's always good to look at mainstream explanation, and I don't want to claim I know everything. There's no way I would put a gun up to my head and say the lakes they were made 100,000 years ago.
No, we do know it was extremely volcanic, and because it's got the largest. Actually, I'll just pull up a picture.
I should look into it more before.
Pull this up quick, and then we'll wrap her up.
Hey, and while you're pulling that up, I just want to say I found no shells in the Richat structure.
Okay, I saw that earlier in the chat. I was going to bring it up, but I forgot to.
Graham Langdon found some shells in the Southern Sea, what I call the Southern Sea, outside of the mouth of the Richat structure. Not exactly sure where. And he also found, I forgot to show you where he found those hand axe heads.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what are we looking at there?
All right, so this is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Yep.
Superior, obviously. This from Copper Harbor, it comes down all the way through here, down through Okanagan, White Pine, and it comes down past Ironwood and down towards Cable, Mellon, Upson area here. That is, from what I'm aware, from everyone's aware, the largest existing lava flow on Earth. It's a big rock ridge, and from Copper Harbor all the way down through here is where there were hundreds of copper mines simultaneously operating between the mid 1800s till late mid 1900s, early 19 to mid 1900s, when they started to fizzle out and then switch over to iron mining towards the turn of the 20th century. So this is all basalt, volcanic rock, all this Isle Royale. I mean, the entire island is pretty much just rock covered in trees. Also,
what's the name of that lake again? Lake Huron?
It's a Superior.
Superior.
Yep.
I call that the bird shape. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, I'm wrong. I'm thinking about the state. There's the glove, and then there's the bird shape. That's the old puzzle.
The murder mitten.
The murder mitten. It looks like the mitten I grew up with, that oven mitt. But then that other part is the bird shape, and then that's Michigan, and then that lake, Superior. So what's the altitude there?
Technically, you could say, Jim, 10,000 or 8,000 years ago onward. Sorry, what were we asking?
I'm checking right now. I just zoomed in on my topographical map, but unfortunately, I'm still not sure if that's it. That's got to be it. It's so high. It's a lot higher, that structure you're showing me. And by the way, when you zoom in, I think I've got that structure zoomed in right now on my channel. Share my screen real quick. The very tip.
Yep, the Keweenaw
I'm not wrong. Maybe you can confirm that peninsula right there. Yep. That's it, right?
This is the Keweenaw Peninsula.
There it is. Now,
you can see that ridge.
Something that I find very mysterious. This line right here, I see it so much, and it's like, how do they justify the creation of this line for natural geology?
Because it's a big, massive cliff. It's probably 200, 300 feet tall.
I see a lot of these structures right here. I see a lot of them, and I question them a lot. Like, were they the giants? Also, in the Atlas Mountains, I can show you a bunch of stuff. Let me just zoom into the Atlas Mountains to compare it. And over here, the Appalachians as well. This is the Appalachian Mountains. There's a lot of ridges over here. And I feel like a lot of ridges. And it's like, wait, weren't they connected to the Atlas Mountains before it all separated? So maybe it's billions of years old. Let me just zoom in there and show you what I'm talking about. Yeah. Right here in the Atlas Mountains, right south. So Marrakesh is up here, and then this is the tall part. Then you've got the lower Atlas Mountains, and below all that, you got these weird ridge mountains going on. And to me, it's beyond all explanation. Let me go to the beginning of it. Look at this. Look at the way that one's shaped. I mean, is it one line? The pen writes, but does it really write like that naturally? Those lines that goes on, how are they? The implication is it's a folding, like million-year-old folding of the land. But and then there's that thing I wanted to compare to what you just showed me below it. There's all sorts of stuff like this. Yep. Just think a little bit like maybe there's a chance that it's actually done by giants, somebody before humans. This part right here, I find it really interesting how a mountain can make a line that goes back and forth like a hairpin. So literally that's the end right there, right? Let's look at it closely. The mountain goes to here and then it comes back. So you've got it. I don't know where it starts, but about here, it goes this way. It comes to here. It folds back, but is it really a fold? I feel like someone squeezed out a tube of toothpaste right here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know.
And yeah, you've got a little bit of overlap. But what you just showed us, and you can go back to that now. By the way, if you know who Mud Fossil University is, he thinks this is the head of the dragon right here. Let me just go where you can see it in he says it, and I don't do flat earth. I don't do mud flood. I don't do mud fossil. and here's where we're looking at. But he believes this was the head of a dragon, and it crashed into the earth, and blah blah blah. I don't believe that. Anyways, there's some things you're not going.
But
yeah, I was gonna say that's a little bit out there.
I'm not a flat earther, and I'm not. But Tartaria, that's a different question. I mean, check out my lunch break. He's blowing my mind, and this is a whole different conspiracy. This is like 1800s conspiracy. Like our state capitals were not even built by us. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I've watched a few different videos on the Tartaria thing, and I'm just like, I can't buy it.
I have a few things, and you're right. There's a few things.
I haven't done a whole lot of research into it. It's just not
when
really
it blends into flat Earth. I can't do flat Earth. I'm not doing.
It's really not my. Yeah, there's nothing that really interests me about it. So,
but the, I don't know, the. It's true. Like the things I showed you earlier called the mystery walls of California. While they're not the polygonal walls in Peru at all. I've seen them up close, and I have a video showing them up close, and they're obviously not. But they're like Hadrian's Wall in England, in my opinion. I don't know if you've ever heard of Hadrian's Wall, a mortarless wall built to. I think it's to separate animals. It's more. Hadrian's Wall was to keep out the north from the south. Yep. And I actually visited Hadrian's Wall. Right. And now the Tartarian theory says that the Great Wall of China was not keeping the north out from the south, but the other way around. Wandering Wolf even went there, and he said that the windows for the arrows were on the north side of the wall. Oh, wait, the south side of the wall. The south side. They weren't on the north side. Anyways. Don't get me started.
To China someday, we'll see.
I do speak Chinese. I lived in Taiwan 25 years. Taiwan is the real China. What's left is the communist China, the two China policy but let me just tell you right now, America has Marines and Patriot missiles in Taiwan. China's never going to attack Taiwan unless it wants to cut its own throat. This whole China attack Taiwan thing is just a big old play. It's just a conspiracy. It's a deflection. Never going to happen because they'd be cutting their own throats. And in my book, Not Stars Just Sex, I talk about how China, the Wuhan origin of the virus.
I'll have to check it out.
You can read it for free. And I did a second book called The Oil Sands of Alberta. I was working with this investment product company. Basically, some people want to call it a Ponzi scheme, but it's typical stuff out there. There's these so-called black box investment schemes you can invest in that, it might be risky, but usually they give you your money back the first time to keep you sucked in. And I know people that have made a lot of money off these black box schemes, but this one was actually backed by agents in Malaysia, and those same agents suddenly they
disappear on a plane.
No, they pulled a mutiny on the boss.
Oh boy.
Actually, the book gets a little deeper. I was actually in charge of 200,000 Canadian dollars at one point, and I ended up giving it all back because I've decided I'm going to get convicted of money laundering if I keep going in this direction at this point. And when I thought to myself, wait, money laundering? It was over. I was done. So you don't have to read the book anymore.
Oh, perfect.
I'm
all right.
On my Goodreads. Can't finish reading.
Yeah, I am on my book is on Goodreads, but I don't think they show you the whole book. They just show you like the first chapter or something like that.
No, that's just to rate your books like you've read it, put it on a checklist, show you're better than other people.
Fuck, man, I wish I could say I read books. Man, I haven't read a book in a long time now, to be honest. And when I say that, I read every day, right? I'm reading off the internet and thousands of stories per week. And I do notice what mainstream pushes on us. I mean, we get distracted every day. The Epstein files is a big distraction, right? It's a big distraction.
Yeah, I'm not even paying attention to it. I'm just waiting for the highlights. The highlight reel.
Well, we're never going to find out because it's going to get covered up. You know, like you know how I feel? How?
I was gonna say, I know you feel about haven't been reading much lately. I keep buying books, but before I even start reading, I buy another book. then it's just I got books everywhere. I got to start doubling down, but
I've got 3
we'll get
signed
to it
Graham
eventually.
Hancocks. I got Graham Hancock books signed. I've got all sorts of signed books by the heroes. Randall Carlson doesn't have a book, and while I don't agree with him, like the Azores, I do still respect Randall Carlson. He's taught me many things. I never want to diss him. I never want to go face to face or battle him. I respect him a lot. I know his wife. I know his son, Jesse. But in regards to books, man, I have to be honest. It's been a few years, and I want to write. I've written books. The guy that says he's read my book says it was the only book I've ever really read. What?
He probably says that to everyone.
It's
the only book I ever read.
My next book. I do have one. I would love to. I'd love to go back to Taiwan soon, but zip it up.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I think we're gonna wrap her up there. That was a good time. We're at hitting the 2-hour mark. Stig,
thank you for tolerating my expense.
Yes. Hey, hold on. I think there's a button for that.
What, you heard a burp?
Andy, the sound guy, isn't working.
Yeah,
there it is.
I'm sorry, you heard my burp? Is that what just happened?
Yeah.
No, I said there's a sound for that. The applause. Andy.
Oh. Yeah, yep. I got a bunch of sounds that I can't play here because I'm not logged into my thing. I'll get you guys in on my live stream next, please.
No. Yeah. No. Again, thank you very much for coming on. You showed us some stuff that I was not aware of any that existed. I mean, I just thought it was like weird stuff around like the Eye of Sahara, but you expanded around that whole area of Mauritania, and
there's a bunch of stuff I haven't even shown you. There's a bunch. Yeah. I believe it was all terraformed Earth. I've got global evidence.
Well, we do know at some point that the Sahara wasn't dry 5,000 years ago, allegedly, about, give or take. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it got dried out from all that mining. Apparently, it went green twice in the last 10,000 years, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too up on all that, but regardless, I think somebody was mining it. Somebody was quarrying it.
Something to look into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go there tomorrow. I'll meet you there, right in the middle.
Oh, good. I'll book my flight. Yeah.
Yep.
Andrew.
Yes.
What do you got coming up? Where can people find you?
Well, I don't do anything on the interwebs besides
I know you don't.
This show and our drink up on Friday. Well, leveling up on Tuesdays, but drink up tomorrow. Sit here, knock back some drinks, talk about random stuff. We got Naganol on tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central. We finished up our RV There Yet gaming stream on Tuesday, so we can finally play something new. Who knows what that is, but tune in, find out. And that's about it for me.
Thank you, Jim.
Great show. Thank you. Whoa.
Where did we find that the gentleman Isaac? He just left. Where I'm going to go there. I want to watch.
Yeah.
That. Where's that? Let's go there right now. Just before I stop talking.
Oh, again. It's in a Discord channel on the GCA.
Oh.
Yeah, it's probably half done by now.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll try to go there next. I wanted to see that. Go to my channel at Stig, youtube.com/@ my middle name is Stig.
Okay.
Or my middle name, youtube.com/David Stig Hansen.
Yeah. Also in the go check out Stig's channel for sure. Also in the description of the video, I have your YouTube, your Patreon, and your X.
Me?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Well, the only thing that I want to remind is I showed earlier the facebook.com/wasthisatlantis. It's a page. Facebook.com/wasthisatlantis has basically a clearinghouse of all the stuff I found. You can go there yourself. You can click on the links and you can see it and look at it for yourself. I'm not the type of guy to hold it back waiting for my. I've given it away. I might die tomorrow. We all might die tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So I would love to get more subscribers and more money. But at the same time, I can't help but just share it. I got a big mouth.
It's all right. Got to get it out there, right?
Yeah. It's not about shining. It's about getting the truth out.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Let's do a part 2 soon. Hey, maybe I don't have to come in and live long. All right, guys. I shut up.
Perfect.
Yep.
No, that's all we got there. So want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I want to thank Isaac, who's not here anymore. RIP. Thank you, Andy, for joining once again. And Stig, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Everyone in the chat, everyone that's watching on your channels, my channel, and the rewatches later down the road, thank you very much. Do us a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe to everyone then in the description there. Share it with your friends too. People love when you say this part.
Why don't they do it already? They gotta like it. They gotta share it. They gotta subscribe.
Exactly.
They gotta let your whole thing play on silent while they're sleeping. Every video.
Yes, Ralph. I will be in touch. I have plans. So,
bye.
All right, everyone. You have a wonderful night. Have a good weekend, and until we see you, whenever we see you. Click. All right. Have a good night, everyone.